Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pokemon Premier League Division 2 Season 4, Week 4. This week we are playing Unlawful Exile of the West Chan United. Now, Liam is a very good friend of mine, and I highly recommend you go and check out his channel. He's an awesome guy. I'm assuming you've heard of him because he's Unlawful Exile, damn it. But if you guys didn't know, my name is Richaad. I am the manager of the Nidoqueens Park Rangers. We are currently 0-3 in the season, looking for our first win. Liam's doing pretty well this season, having some really high quality games throughout the season so far, so I'm hoping I can give him another high quality game here. If you haven't checked out my team builder video, make sure to go check that out. Links are in the description for that. And also, while I'm here, links will be in the description to the guy who GM'd my team for this week, Blue Rogue. Again, what a guy you are. And also, thank you to Kino for making the thumbnails throughout the season. There's also going to be links to the PPL fan Discord, the public spreadsheet, the merchandise store, the TeePublic. Go and check out all the links. It'll be very much worth your time, I promise. Quick overview of my team. The Celesteela is bulky to switch into Weavile. I've got the Alolan Marowak, which kills like everything. My Assault Vest Blastoise is switching to Heatran. I've got my Specs Togekiss. My sort of bulky offensive Piloswine. And my Steelium Z Iron Tail Azelf. And you can see Liam has elected to bring to this game Seismitoad, Weavile, Electivire, Starmie, Hitmonlee, and Heatran. Now, no Aromatisse, which is a bit annoying for Azelf, Steelium Z, Iron Tail. It's going to be a bit pointless now. Bit annoying. I was quite happy to see no Salamence, means I'm not going to get swept by that. Always good to see. But a lot of the stuff he has brought scares me. For example, the Heatran, the Electivire, the Weavile. All very spooky stuff, not to mention the Hitmonlee as well, potentially if it's like a non-burden set. Very spooky stuff. So, I am going to elect to lead with my Celesteela, because it deals with most things the best, aside from the Heatran and the Electivire. He can deal with pretty much anything else that he wants to lead with. So let's just get straight into this game and let's see how things go. So like I mentioned, I wanted to lead with my Celesteela. I could Leech Seed anything if anything was potentially sashed. If he wants to lead with a Seismitoad to try and get it rocked, I do have the Giga Drain, which obviously he would fear, or the Energy Ball potentially, and I could potentially scare him out, which would be nice, force him not to get rocks up or whatever. He is going to lead with a Seismitoad, as I'm going to lead with my Celesteela. And on the first turn, I am going to elect just to go for the Leech Seed, hoping he would switch out and not get up his rocks. But you can see he outspeeds me here. He's going to go for the rocks, and they're going to be up to stay for the match, pretty much because I don't have hazard removal. And I'm going to go for a Leech Seed, and I'm going to miss turn 1, which is always nice. Now he's going to switch out his Toad and go on out into his Heatran, as I'm just going to fire off another Leech Seed to try and catch whatever wants to come in, because I didn't expect him to stay in that time, because he would fear the Grass move, I think, on that turn. But he's going to bring in the Heatran. Going to get a little bit of chip on the Tran here, which is nice. And now I'm obviously going to switch out here because I'm scared by this thing, and my switch in is my Blastoise, but he makes a great read. Seeing that one coming a mile away, he's going to go straight onto his Electivire, and I don't really have a switch into this thing. If he has fighting coverage for my Piloswine and Earthquake for my Alolan Marowak, I don't have a switch in. Bear in mind, by the way, my Alolan Marowak is Rock Head, not Lightning Rod, so it's not actually a switch in. But I'm going to make him think that it is. I'm going to go out into my Piloswine here. It's the best thing I have to take on this Electivire, and he's going to go for the Earthquake here, expecting my Marowak to switch in. This is going to do a bit of damage, and this tells me that he's max attack, but he's not adamant, and he's not a boosting item, so this tells me he might be Scarfed, he might have a Z-Crystal, I don't know. If he pulled out the all-out pummeling there, I was half expecting it, but I wanted to sack a Piloswine to see if he did actually have it. Now I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. As the Seismitoad switches in, and we can get some decent damage off in the Seismitoad, but this does tell me that he is physically defensive, which is alright, I guess. I can deal with that. Now I'm actually going to stay in here expecting a knockoff to try and get rid of my Violite, which he does. He goes for the knockoff here. I'm just going to stay in, and I'm actually going to go for my Stealth Rocks this turn, which is going to potentially hinder some of the things on his side, especially that Weavile. Now I'm kind of just sacking Piloswine here. I didn't really have too many things that wanted to take on the Seismitoad. Like, I wanted to get on my Celesteela, but I needed to keep that thing healthy for the Weavile, so I didn't really want to switch in on, you know, like a Scalding, a Burn. I didn't want it to knock off my leftovers, things like that. He's going to go for another Earthquake. I know I can take it, and I do live, and I'm going to fire off another Earthquake of my own against the Seismitoad. So the Seismitoad taking some more damage on that side, which is pretty damn awesome. He's going to get some more lefties back, and now I'm just going to sack off my Pilo, but going for an Ice Shard first, get some more chip damage off. on the Seismitoad before I go down, which is very nice indeed. And he's just going to take me out with a knockoff. I can switch out from the threat of a knockoff. So Pilot's one goes down, but it did some things and also some stuff. Got some nice damage off on this episode. Now I'm going to elect to bring in my Azelf here, because I would potentially scare him out with a grass move with the energy ball that I don't actually have because I'm a physical one, thinking that he would want to preserve his Seismitoad for later so that my Blastoise couldn't spam Scald over everything. I'm going to go for the U-turn, but he actually stays in. Now I know a knockoff is coming, so the best thing to lose its item is going to be my Celesteela, because I can't have my, my Marowak or anything like that coming in, or my Blastoise. I need to keep my Assault Vest. So I'm going to go into my Celesteela. I'm going to lose my leftovers here due to the knockoff. But now again, I can threaten this guy out with the threat of a Giga Drain on the Seismitoad here. But I'm actually going to expect him to switch into his Electivire here, because it's basically a free switch into Electivire every time. So I'm going to switch back out into my Azelf here, hoping that he would go on out into his Electivire. But unfortunately, he doesn't. He stays in, he goes for an Ice Punch, and it's going to do decent damage to my Azelf, taking it just under half. Now at this point, I'm done with over-predicting. I'm just going to go for a Zen Headbutt, thinking that it would take out the Seismitoad from this range. Just going to fire off the Zen Headbutt. I do connect, which is good. Going to take him down to the red, but I don't kill, but I do get a flinch, which is pretty big because he was obviously going to go for a knockoff and take me out there. That definitely would have killed me. So the flinch definitely mattered, but now he is in range from a U-turn here, so I can take out this Seismitoad with a U-turn, and Azelf picking up a kill, which is nice. But I'm going to go back on out, and I'm going to elect to go into my Alola Marowak here. Now I knew this would bait out the Weavile here, but I was thinking at this point, I know Liam likes to make his cheeky double switches and things like that and tries to get the upper hand. Now he knows I would be threatened out by a Weavile, and I'd probably go on out into my Celesteela. Bear in mind, my Celesteela has already had its item knocked off. I was thinking he'd see that coming, but he just stays in and clicks knockoff and kills me. I expected him to try and get cheeky there, go for an ice move, or switch on out into something that had a better matchup against the Celesteela, but he just stays in, takes out my Alola Marowak, which is a bit annoying there. But now I'm going to go on out into my Blastoise, knowing that I can take a knockoff from this range quite comfortably, and I can fire off a Scald against something, because his team really does not appreciate Scald, like in the slightest. The best thing he does have to take that is this Starmie right here, but as you can see, after the rocks damage, I'm going to come in with a Scald, and this actually does really decent damage to this Starmie, proving him to be an offensive Starmie. Now at this point, I'm just going to fire off a Dark Pulse, knowing that he cannot do too much to me. Even though he's offensive and he may have Thunderbolt, I'm Assault Vest, I can take it very, very well. I'm going to fire off the Dark Pulse. We can see he's Colbur Berry, and he's actually going to be able to take this very decently with his Starmie right now. Now I'm going to stay in again, thinking he might switch out here, knowing that Thunderbolt would not do too much to an AV Blastoise, so thinking he might switch out. So I'm going to go for a Scald again, because again, it hurts his team a lot, and I don't want to give anything a free switch in. And we can see here I do actually get a burn, which is pretty neato. Now, I know I can take another Thunderbolt, and I am just going to fire off another Dark Pulse here, as he's going to stay in and go for another Thunderbolt, and he's going to take me down to the red, which was fine. He does get the paralysis, but luckily I don't get full power on that turn. In fact, I just fire off a Scald, thinking he might want to switch out into someone else. I'm going to get a nice high roll off that one, taking him down to the red, nearly taking him out with the burn. But now I'm just going to have to sack off my Blastoise because I don't have a switch into a Thunderbolt. Like, the best thing on my team to take a Thunderbolt is this Blastoise, weirdly. And I'm going to go down to the T-Bolt there. But the Starmie is going to go down to the burn. Again, thinking he might want to get cheeky with another switch, thinking I might switch out to preserve my Blastoise, he might go out into something, so I just went for Scald again there, trying to catch something and burn something potentially. Now he's going to go on out into his Heatran, as I'm going to go on out into my Azelf here. Now, I have nothing for this Heatran, not even a little bit. I don't have a switch in either, so I'm just going to stay in and click Zen Headbutt, thinking he would just take me out here, and maybe I could go into my Togekiss and pick up a kill with that, which would be nice. Going to go for the Zen Headbutt, and it's going to do not much, as he's going to go for the Flame Charge, which was not good, because my last three mons are Azelf, Celesteela, and Togekiss, and if you notice that Celesteela and Togekiss are weak to its Dual Stab, not going to have a good time. Going to go for the Zen Headbutt again, going to get some more chip damage off, and he's going to go for a second Flame Charge, being he's guaranteed to outspeed everything now. Even if, I had like a Scarf Togekiss, he would be outspeeding that at this point if he's, speed invested. Azelf's going to go down here, and now I'm just going to bring in my Togekiss and hope I can live. For the third week out of 4, it's a roll. 93.8% chance to kill me with a flash cannon here if he's max special attack, and he does kill me. Pretty unfortunate. And then I'm just going to bring in my Celesteela and I'm going to die to a Lava Plume, and that's going to be the game. I'm going to lose 4-0 again. That was a bad week. That was a very bad week. I just prepped really badly. Like, I think I over-prepped for Salamence, didn't prep enough for his other threats. Like, I had my my Blastoise as my switch into Heatran, but, like, he's obviously going to see that one coming, and he has an Electivire, which isn't, you know, super frail, so he can afford to switch it into, you know, a hit at the very least. So, I should have prepped more for Electivire, more for Weavile, because I basically had nothing. And when I bring 3 electric weaknesses, and have 1 quote-unquote switch-in to Electivire, which isn't really a switch-in, because if he had Cross-Chop, not a switch-in. Bearing in mind it was a Z user, so he could have very well had it all-out pummeling as well, not a switch-in. And I brought Rockhead, not Lightning Rod, on my Alola Marowak, not a switch-in. I just didn't prep enough, didn't prep like I should, and didn't play like I should either. It was bad, very bad. 4 weeks into the season, we're 0-4. It's the worst losing streak I've had in PPL history from the start of the season. Not continuing from previous seasons, but from in a single season, this is my worst losing streak I've ever had in PPL. Going 0-4, which is not good. Really hope I can win next week, but as of right now, I'm going to be playing the Portland Timbers next week, who, as of right now, as of week 3, they are undefeated. So that's not good. They also just got a 6-0, so, you know, it's going to be fun. But look forward for that game, because it's going to be interesting. We had a great game back in Season 1, me and RTK, with the Weather War. That was a great match, but he then beat me the following season with a Roselli Berry Scrafty, which was very annoying, so I'm hoping to get him back for that. But it should be a good match regardless, hopefully. So look forward to that game coming next week. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on the video, make sure to go check all the links out in the description, and hopefully I will see you guys sometime soon.